You got the viewer's attention with your title and your thumbnail, but they're not watching very long. So in today's video, I'm gonna show and explain 6, count them 6, editing techniques in Davinci Resolve to hopefully fix that. Now, we are gonna be using Resolve, but all this should work in any modern video editing software. So welcome back to Creator Reality, my friend. Today we're gonna trick your viewers' brains through editing. First, we're gonna take a look at how the viewer's brain is working and what causes viewer retention to drop off. Then we'll get into the editing. I think it really helps to share the why or how something is happening before we go fix it with editing, right? So, the average attention span is around 8 seconds, and it seems like it's falling off year by year. TikToks and Instagram Reels and all that other short form stuff that I don't really do. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The problem is, if nothing on screen is happening, you know, I'm doing a talking head right now, but there's other things happening on screen, right? If that's not happening, your viewer's brain and my viewer's brain will drag off to something else. I can't tell you how many times I'm watching YouTube on my second screen here, and I start scrolling on social media on my first screen, and boop, there it is. I have now lost all attention span for the video I was supposed to be watching or wanted to watch. For lack of a better term, it was boring. We need to fix this. Are you still paying attention? Boop the like button so I know you're paying attention. Now, on one hand, we have deliberate holds on a scene. A lot of movies will do this. The person who's viewing a movie in a theater has paid to be there. So by and large, those shots can be held longer, and the viewer's attention, there's no distractions, right? There's no cell phones, there's no kids running around, et cetera, et cetera. So the viewer will stay attached to that movie, and you can be deliberate with your scene cuts. Well, on YouTube, we can't do that. Now, on the other side, on the flip side of this coin, is the modern Hollywood fight scene where things are cut, boom, 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 punches. Well, what happens is we as viewers, we watch this, we get disoriented. It's jarring. You don't know who's winning. You don't know who's throwing a punch. You don't know where they are in space relative to each other. These are all problems. So there's a sweet spot right in the middle, and it's 4 to 6 seconds. It's been a day. Anyway, 4 to 6 seconds. That's about how long a YouTube video scene should be. Now, there's obviously exceptions to this rule. If you're doing a montage, for instance, and you're showing travel distance, you're going to want to do a 1 to 2 second cut for each of those scenes. I held this one extra long so I could drink water. My throat is parched. But look, that's just an example of holding a scene a little bit too long. You probably started to get bored there, and I cut it right before you did, right? Hopefully, you're still watching. Are you in there? So in technical terms, this is called a pattern interrupt. By changing the scene every 4 to 6 seconds, you're now regaining the viewer's focus. And now it's time to jump into Davinci Resolve and show you what I'm talking about. The first cut is the basic cut. So I'm going to drag a multicam clip onto my timeline. If you want to see multicam tutorial or a multicam tutorial, it's right up here. But I've got a bunch of blank space. So we want to cut from here. So I'll press Control B to cut. And then I want to cut to here. So I'll press Control B to cut again. Click to select the clip and press Delete to do a ripple delete. That's a basic cut. You can get rid of the blank space, no big deal. Again, with our multicam clip, we can go in and uncheck the inspector, which brings up the 2 viewers here. If you don't see them, you can click here and it'll give you 1 or 2 viewers. We need both. And we're going to click on this drop down, select multicam, and we're going to make sure video only is selected. You have video, both, or audio. I went over this in the tutorial, but this is just a quick refresher. And then we're going to be playing along, and I want to show camera angle 2, camera angle 1, camera angle 2, and so forth. And that gives you that 4 to 6 second cut between scenes so that you can do a number of things, one of which is to retain the viewer's attention, right? Because you're switching camera angles. This is assuming you're using multicam and you have multiple cameras. You could layer them on top of each other in your timeline and then cut out sections of track 1 or track 2 however you want to play it. There's 17 different ways to do this in Resolve. One of the ways that I like to do this is to ease the viewer into the next scene, or in my case, I drink a lot of coffee when I ride, and I want to show that, like with the water earlier, I can cut some of that water, but you hear the audio first. These are J and L cuts, so let's go take a look at that. It'll make more sense in Resolve. Let's use Alt mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to drink my coffee right about here, so let's show that camera angle. It's right there. We can Control B to break, Control B to break. Now when we press delete to ripple delete that, you can hold Alt and select just the video or select just the audio and make your adjustment. Now in this case, I want the video from where I'm drinking the coffee to overlap the audio where I'm speaking afterwards. Obviously in the waveform, these are words. All these spikes is where I'm speaking words. Now I've created a J cut. You can see that it makes the letter J. Now if you want to do an L cut, where the video starts before the audio, we can hold Alt, select our video, and drag it back to wherever we want. Now, you'll see me putting down the coffee mug instead of drinking it, and then the audio has played through from the first clip to the second clip. So hopefully that makes J and L cuts a little bit more understandable. You see this a lot on YouTube videos and a little bit in TV and movies. The next cut is one I use quite a bit, and I call it the no jump cut, because you're going to show one camera angle with multiple audio clips underneath of it. It's sort of like a trick or technique I'm going to show you in a minute, but it applies more towards this multicam usage. So let's go back in, and we've got our timeline here. So let's switch our camera angle to Hero 12. You see my face is invisible, and that's kind of important for this one. You don't want your lips and your audio out of sync, but my face is not visible, and you can't see my lips moving in any of these clips. So let's say that you had words here that you wanted to keep, so I'm using Control B to break, and then I've got some more words over here that I want to keep, okay? And this stuff in the middle, we'll call it a flubbed line. I can press delete to ripple delete it, and now when I play it back, you see we've got a jump cut here. If you ended up cutting here and say cutting again here and then delete here, you can see that we've got quite a few jump cuts going on. Well, if all this audio was workable audio, we can actually hold Alt and select these three clips, just the video, and press backspace to do a non-ripple delete. Then we can click on our clip, the last clip, and you see it selected the audio and video. If I drag this back, it'll overwrite all the audio I wanted to keep. So I'll Control Z to undo, hold Alt, click on just the video, and you see my icon there? We're just going to drag it all the way back, and now you're going to hear the audio from those words. Well, you won't, but the viewer would, and all these different words are popping up, but the video stayed the same. So there's no jump cut. Hey, there's that thing. Now, there's one more trick we need to do with this to really make it seamless for the viewer. So what we're going to do is Alt mouse wheel to zoom in so I can show this to you better. And we're going to go to Effects, Audio Transitions, and we're going to grab our Crossfade 0 dB. And we're going to drag it on. And you see that if I Control Z to undo it, my word starts here and the word ends here, preceding it, right? So if we drag our crossfade on, we can get this icon on the end, we can drag it back in. And if you hold Alt-Shift, it'll let you drag just one side of the crossfade. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, so we got that one there. We'll drag one on here. This one has to be really short because the words are close. And then one here, and we can be a little bit close there. But the last one, we're going to have to use a medium one. There we go. Now, when the viewers watching your video, they will have a seamless audio experience, and there won't be that harsh crunch or jump in the audio from one word to another. I mean, granted, it's not going to fix if you were really working up to the next statement, but it will help quite a bit. The next one is the punch zoom. Yeah, let's get in Resolve and show you how to do this one. So for this one, I have a clip of me walking around, and I want to take the words, I'm going to Alt mouse wheel and zoom in, and I'm going to break here and break here, because for these words, it was very important, whatever it was I was saying. Now, there's a couple of ways to solve this problem. You can click on the clip, open up your inspector, make sure you're in the video tab, and then punch in the zoom to 1.28 or whatever kind of fits. And you might want to adjust the Y position so that you keep your eye lines, right? If I reset this with the reset wheel there, my eye line is right about there. So when I zoom in, you can see my eye line is way higher. So we might want to bring that down a little bit and maybe over a little bit. And then if you're playing it back, boom, it punches in, right? Hey, that was an important thing that I said. Yes, yes, indeed. And this is a great way to hide jump cuts and things like that. It helps if your hands and your body are in the relatively same position from one clip to another. But even still, you can sort of fudge it a little bit to make it a lot easier on the viewer and not as jarring. The whole idea is to not be jarring, right? We're going to be smooth. But if you want to make this effect repeatable, let's go into Resolve. I'll show you how to do that. So if I click on my clip and I reset it, I can come into Effects. It's right there. I can go down to Effects under the toolbox, grab an adjustment clip and drag it on. Then we can trim it to length and we can adjust it here. So I can click on Zoom, type in 1.25, tab away, bring it over a little bit, bring it down a little bit. In fact, we can go to 1.5 for this one to really punch it up, right? We're punching in big time. Now we have this adjustment clip. We can click on the file here, and then we can call it Punch Zoom. There we go. And then we can put it into our power bins. Where's my power bins, you say? Well, it's under Media Pool, Power Bins. If you don't see it, click on the three dots, Show Power Bins. See, it went away? And there's our power bins back there. So in my power bins, I've got a lot of stuff, but you can just drag it up into, well, I have one in adjustment clips, but here in Master, we'll just drag it in here. And there it is, Punch Zoom. So now I can drag that back in and it'll punch anywhere you want. And you can trim it to length. It'll be just fine. Boop, there it is. This works really well if you have one word or one phrase that you really want to emphasize. A lot of people do it on the word but or and, kind of say, hey, viewer, let me get your attention again. Now, the last one is something you saw earlier in the video, and it is B-roll. If you're doing a walk and talk vlog or a talking head or a moto vlog, any one of those kinds of videos, you're going to want to use some sort of B-roll to emphasize your point or to show a step or a process. And having that extra footage really can make the difference between an okay video and a great video that people watch through to the end. And it's really easy to do. Let me show you how to do this. So let's go to a different part of the video, and I'm riding along. We'll change our camera angle back. Now, if I wanted to keep, and we're going to Alt mouse wheel to zoom in. If I want to keep, say, that phrase, and we want to get rid of this phrase, but we want to keep that one and get rid of that one, just like we did before, right? We're cutting, but now we've got a jump there and a jump there, and let's put one more jump in right there. So just like with the audio where we had the video and we alt selected and then dragged along. Yeah, I did it wrong this time. It's an example. What we can do is drag in some B-roll. So in my B-roll folder, I have a picture and we've got that going on and we've got some video. And let's just say that the video is explaining what's going on. Oh, look at that. It has its own audio. We want to alt click and backspace to get rid of just the audio because we just want the B-roll footage. So we'll trim that up to length and we can click on our image. And if you don't know this, scroll all the way down in the video tab to retime and scaling, choose scaling and drop down and choose fill. Now it fills up everything, right? And our video fills up everything. It's awesome. Well, this is all well and good. Oh, we're explaining something about a bike. Go, look at that. We're showing the bike. That's B-roll in a nutshell, but you can spice that up with just a couple of seconds worth of work. We're going to click on the first frame of our picture, and we're going to scroll all the way to the top of our video tab under the inspector. We're going to click the keyframe icon up here. You can click the individual ones, but just click the top one. It's fine. And it's at 1. We can go to the end, left, arrow key. Just once, goes to the last frame of this picture, and let's just pump it into 1.08 and move it about 18 frames, 27 frames, whatever. It's an example, once again. Now when it shows, boom, it's got some movement to it. Yeah, because video has movement, like you see there, but now the picture has some movement. So what you end up with is something that there's still movement. It's not a static image that could lose the viewer's attention, but it's a moving image. Pretty neat, right? And that's the 6 techniques, right? They worked. I used them in the editing of this video, and I showed you how to use them. So you get a gold star for sticking around this long, and I should get a like and maybe a subscription, right? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Until next time, go watch this video, which YouTube has finally curated just for you, and I will see you in the next video. John out.